Hey there, horror fans. Tonight, I'm diving into a chilling tale that'll make you think twice about wandering near old cemeteries. This one's about Sarah, a woman from coastal Maine whose tragic story turned her into the Green Lady, a ghost who haunts a foggy graveyard and the marshes around it. It's a story of betrayal, revenge, and a presence that lingers long after death, straight from the locals in Bar Harbor. So, grab a blanket, dim the lights, and get ready, because this one's just for you. If it gives you goosebumps, smash that like button. Your likes keep these spooky stories coming, and I've got more waiting if you show the love. Let's get into it. It's 1975, and Sarah Collins is a 32-year-old woman living in a weathered clapboard house on the edge of a cemetery in Bar Harbor, Maine, where the Atlantic salt air clings to everything. The house, perched on a bluff overlooking a foggy marsh, is old, its shingles grayed by decades of storms. Sarah shares it with her husband, Daniel, a fisherman with a temper as unpredictable as the tides. They're not a happy couple, their marriage strained by Daniel's long absences and Sarah's quiet resentment, but they scrape by, tied to the rhythms of the sea. That winter is brutal, one of the worst in memory, with blizzards piling snow against their windows and cutting off the dirt road to town. Supplies are low, the pantry nearly bare, and Daniel, grumbling, sets out one morning to fetch food and firewood from a store 10 miles away. "I'll be back by dusk," he mutters, pulling on his coat, his breath clouding in the frigid air. Sarah nods, stoking the fire, her hands chapped from washing dishes in cold water. Hours pass, and dusk comes early, the sky bruising purple as snow swirls thicker. Daniel doesn't return. Sarah paces the creaky floorboards, her worry growing with each gust rattling the windows. By 7 p.m., the storm is a howling beast, and she can't wait any longer. She bundles up in a wool coat, wraps a green scarf around her neck, and grabs a flashlight, its beam weak against the blizzard. He's out there, she tells herself, stepping into the night, the wind snatching her breath. She follows the path toward the marsh, thinking Daniel might have taken a shortcut through the woods. The cemetery, its headstones jutting like broken teeth, looms to her left, but she avoids it, sticking to the trail. The snow blinds her, the cold biting her face, and soon she's off the path, lost in the tangle of pines and frozen ferns. Her flashlight flickers, catching the glint of ice on the ground, and she realizes too late she's wandered into the marsh. The ground turns soft, then liquid, a sucking mud that grabs her boots. She tries to step back, but the bog holds her, pulling her down like a living thing. Her legs sink to her knees, the cold sludge soaking her skirt, and panic claws her chest. She screams for help, her voice swallowed by the storm, the flashlight slipping from her numb fingers. The mud creeps higher, to her thighs, her waist, and she thrashes, clawing at reeds, but they snap in her hands. "Daniel," she shrieks, her throat raw, her body shaking from cold and fear. Through the snow, a light appears, faint but steady, a lantern swaying in the dark. It's Daniel, his face shadowed under his hood, his eyes cold as the ice around them. Sarah sobs with relief, reaching for him. "Help me. Please." But he doesn't move, just stands there, the lantern casting a sickly glow on the bog. She begs, her voice breaking, but he watches, silent, as the mud climbs to her chest, her neck. "Why won't you help me?" she screams, tears freezing on her cheeks. Daniel's expression doesn't change, no pity, no guilt, just a blank stare, like he's already decided her fate. The mud reaches her chin, her mouth, and with a final, choking gasp, Sarah sinks beneath the surface, the dark water closing over her head. Daniel turns and walks away, the lantern bobbing until it vanishes in the storm. He tells the town she wandered off, got lost, a tragic accident. They search the marsh, find nothing, and declare her dead, her grave marked by an empty plot in the cemetery next to their house. Daniel lives on, alone in the creaking house, but he's not the same. Locals whisper he's haunted, his eyes hollow, his hands trembling when he buys his whiskey. At night, he sits by the window, staring at the cemetery, muttering to himself. Some say he sees her, a figure in a green scarf, drifting through the fog, her eyes burning with betrayal. By 1980, he's found dead in the house, his face twisted in terror, the coroner calling it a heart attack. The town buries him far from Sarah's plot, but the stories don't stop. The Green Lady, they call her now, a ghost tied to the cemetery and the marsh where she died. Locals in Bar Harbor swear they've seen her, a woman in a tattered coat, her scarf glowing an eerie green, walking the dirt road that skirts the graveyard. She's always surrounded by a misty haze, like the fog that rolls off the Atlantic, but greener, unnatural, curling around her like smoke. Her eyes, they say, are the worst, empty yet piercing, locking onto you until your heart races. The cemetery, with its crooked headstones and iron gates, is her domain, but she wanders the marsh too, her footsteps silent on the mud that claimed her. In 1995, a young couple, Emma and Lucas, visited the cemetery to film a student documentary about local legends. They set up their camcorder near dusk, the fog thick, the air heavy with salt. As they panned across the graves, their footage caught a green mist rising from one plot, swirling like it was alive. Emma shivered, feeling watched, but Lucas laughed it off, zooming in. When they checked the grave later, it was Sarah's, the headstone weathered but clear, Sarah Collins, 1943 to 1975, taken by the storm. The footage, when they played it back, showed more than mist, a faint figure in a scarf, standing just out of focus, gone when they rewound. They never returned to the cemetery, and Emma still keeps the tape locked in a drawer, too scared to watch it again. In 2002, a group of teenagers from Bar Harbor High decided to test the Green Lady legend, driving through the cemetery at midnight in a borrowed Chevy. They were laughing, blasting Nirvana, until a green fog rolled across the road, thick and sudden, like it poured from the graves. The driver, Mia, swerved, her headlights catching a glimpse of a woman in the mist, her scarf glowing, her face pale as bone. The car veered off the road, slamming into a pine, the airbags popping like gunshots. The kids were shaken but unhurt, though Mia's hands trembled for weeks. "She looked right at me," she told her friends, her voice hollow. "She wanted me to crash. The marsh is just as haunted. Fishermen avoid it, especially at night, when a strange light appears, a lantern's glow hovering over the bog, never moving, just hanging there, steady as a star. Old-timers say it's Daniel's lantern, cursed to watch Sarah drown for eternity, his ghost trapped in the moment of his betrayal." In 2010, a group of college friends hiking near the marsh saw it, a pale light flickering in the fog. They thought it was a camper until they got closer and heard a faint, choking sob, like someone drowning. They ran, but one, Tyler, swore he saw a man holding the lantern, his face blank, staring into the mud. Tyler dropped out of school a month later, said he couldn't sleep without seeing that face. The house by the cemetery is still there, abandoned since Daniel's death, its windows boarded, its paint peeling like dead skin. Locals say if you drive by at night, you'll see a portrait through the front window, a painting of Sarah in her green scarf, her eyes following you. It's always lit by a strange green glow, even though the house has no power. In 2018, a delivery driver, Jenna, took a wrong turn and passed the house at 2 a.m. She glanced at the window, saw the portrait, and froze. The glow pulsed, and for a moment, she swore Sarah's face moved, her lips parting in a silent scream. Jenna quit her job the next day, moved to Portland, and still checks her rearview mirror when she drives at night. Sarah's presence lingers beyond the cemetery and marsh. Locals report odd things, car radios cutting to static near the graveyard, a woman's voice whispering in the fog, the smell of wet mud in houses miles away. In 2020, a park ranger patrolling near the marsh found a scarf caught in a tree, green and tattered, but when he reached for it, it vanished, leaving his hand stinging like he'd touched ice. Kids in Bar Harbor dare each other to walk the cemetery path, but few make it past the gates before running, swearing they heard footsteps in the fog. Some claim Sarah's not just vengeful, she's searching, looking for anyone who'd betray like Daniel did, her gaze testing your soul. For Sarah, it wasn't just about revenge. The locals say she's trapped, bound to the marsh where she died, unable to rest because of Daniel's cruelty. Her green mist is her pain, her scream is her plea, and her eyes are her judgment. But there's another story, whispered in bars over lobster rolls, that Sarah's angel tried to save her. Old Mrs. Harper, who lived down the road until 2015, swore she saw Sarah the night she died, not as a ghost but as a woman, staggering out of the marsh, a faint light around her, like an angel guiding her. Mrs. Harper said Sarah collapsed before reaching the road, the light fading, and by morning, she was gone. Nobody believed her, but Sarah's sister, Ellen, kept a prayer by her bedside, the same one Sarah's mother taught them: "Angel mine, keeper mine, guard my soul." Ellen swore it kept the Green Lady away. I heard this from a bartender in Bar Harbor last summer, a guy named Pete who grew up hearing Green Lady stories. He told me over a pint, his voice low, like he was afraid she'd hear. "She's still out there," he said, glancing at the window. "You drive by that cemetery, you'll feel her." Pete's seen the mist, twice, once as a kid biking home, once driving deliveries in 2019. Both times, his skin crawled, his truck's engine stuttered, and he heard a faint sob, like water closing over someone's head. He keeps a cross in his glove box now, doesn't drive that road after dark. The Green Lady's legend grows with every sighting. In 2023, a tourist posted a photo online, taken at the cemetery during a foggy dawn. It showed a green haze over Sarah's grave, and in the background, barely visible, a woman's silhouette, her scarf trailing in the mist. The post went viral, then vanished, the account deleted. Locals weren't surprised, they know Sarah doesn't like attention. They warn visitors to stay off the marsh path, to avoid the cemetery at night, to keep moving if they see a green light. Some leave flowers on Sarah's grave, hoping to appease her, but they're always gone by morning, scattered in the mud like an offering rejected. Sarah's story hit me hard when Pete told it. I drove by the cemetery the next day, just to see. The house was there, sagging under years of neglect, and through the cracked window, I swear I saw a faint green glow, though I didn't stop to check. The air felt heavy, like it was watching, and I gunned it back to town. I called my cousin, Lisa, who lives in Bangor, and she said her friend saw the lantern light in 2021, hovering over the marsh, with a woman's scream cutting through the fog. Lisa won't visit Bar Harbor anymore, says the whole place feels wrong. Sarah's not just a ghost, she's a warning. Betrayal has a price, and some debts don't die. The Green Lady walks her road, her scarf glowing, her eyes searching, and if you cross her path, you'd better pray your heart's clean. I haven't been back to Bar Harbor since, but I keep a prayer in my wallet, just in case: "Angel mine, keeper mine." You never know what's watching from the fog. That's the story, just for you. If it made your heart race, hit that like button hard. Your likes keep these creepy tales coming, and I've got more that'll make you sleep with the lights on. Don't miss out.